Okay, so welcome to our wedge salad, beef stew, and crostata meal. For this meal, we've done a little bit of the prep for you. Your beef stew is completely done, or your vegetarian stew. It needs to be heated up in a saucepan for about 10 to 15 minutes until it's nice and bubbly and ready to eat. So this meal is unique because instead of doing your main meal, you're actually going to be preparing your dessert. So the dessert is a crostata. So the local apples have already been tossed in a cornstarch, lemon juice, sugar, and cinnamon mixture. You're going to place those on your pie shell. An important note about your pie shell is it should be placed on a sheet pan, either lined with parchment or sprayed with pan spray. And you're going to want to take that out of the refrigerator about 20 minutes before you're ready to prepare your dessert. That way the dough is at room temperature and it's a whole lot easier to fold. So basically, once you put all of your apples into the center of your pie crust, leaving about 2.5 inches or so around. You're going to make sure they're in a nice little pile, and then you're going to take your pie dough, and if it tears on you, no big deal, just pinch it shut. And you're going to fold the pie dough around your mound of apples, just pinching along the way. Your oven should also be preheating at 350 degrees. Okay, so once you've got your sides crimped and you've filled in the holes by pinching a little bit of the dough, you're going to take your reserved liquid from your apples and pour that on top of the apples, just so it has a little bit of moisture to cook with as it's doing its thing in the oven. So in your bundle, you're going to have a little bit of egg wash, and you're going to want to brush that egg wash along the sides of your crostata. This will cause your dough to become a nice golden brown during cooking time. If you notice that there's a little juice seeping out, that's quite all right, but that's why parchment is such a great addition to this meal. It makes cleanup a lot easier at the end. You're also going to find some raw sugar in your bundle, and you're going to sprinkle that around your egg-washed pie dough. And then take a couple of dollops of butter, and that's going to go on the top. So we're going to place that crostata in the oven that's been preheated at 350 degrees, and you're going to bake it for 15 minutes. Once it's finished, you want to take it out of the oven and just set it to the side for about 20 minutes to allow the sugars to cool down a bit, and they'll have almost like a caramel effect. Okay, now we're going to move into the wedge salad. So first things first, you're going to want to take that core out of the iceberg, flip it over to its larger side so you have a nice base to cut on, and we're going to cut this into 5 pieces. You could also do 4. Sometimes I see it plated where it's just cut in half and it's a pretty large wedge. So again, just make it your own in your home. And we're going to shingle the iceberg lettuce down your platter of choice. Next, we're going to take your beautiful cherry tomatoes. These can be served whole. I like to serve them in half. I just feel like that's a little more fork friendly. So slice your tomatoes, and we're going to place those around the iceberg lettuce. So next we're going to take the green onions, we're going to chop off the white part, and then we're going to use the greens. I like to cut this on the bias. This fancy chop is also known as kind of a cousin to a chiffonade. So now we're going to put the dressing on the top. This makes like a nice white base color, and then the rest of your ingredients on top of the dressing is really what makes the salad pop. So a little sprinkle of the green onions. Crumble of the blue cheese. Crispy fried onions for a little bit of texture. So when I'm making a salad, a lot of times I think about three things. First, what is the green that I'm going to use? That matters considering your toppings. So if you've got super heavy toppings, you want to use a nice sturdy green, kind of like this iceberg lettuce. And then what kind of dressing you're going to use, and then a crunch element. So this salad really has all of the best things as far as a nice textured lettuce, a creamy dressing, a nice blue cheese with lots of flavor, and garnished off with crispy fried onions, a little green onion, and cherry tomatoes. So that wraps up our meal. We have our crostata that's all finished. Your stew, whether beef or vegetarian, is all set to go, and your wedge salad is as well, and we hope that you enjoy.